October 13th, 2020 Daily Math Review. Number 1. You have 50 blueberry scones and 75 cranberry scones. Scones are like kind of like a pastry, like a dessert kind of thing. So you want to make as many identical bags as possible. Each bag should have an equal number of blueberry scones with an equal number of cranberry scones. What is the greatest number of bags you can fill? All right, so let's take a look and see. We have to figure out if this is, first of all, if it's greatest common factor, where we need to do our prime factorization, or if it's least common multiple, where we find our multiples. So let's take a look. Each bag should have an equal number of blueberry scones and an equal number of cranberry scones. So that equal is going to give us a hint. What is the greatest number of bags that you can fill? That keyword of greatest is really the biggest hint here. We're going to find the greatest common factor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that slide. What you do there to delete it, you can either right click on it and delete it, or you can just press the backspace or the delete button. Just so I know that I'm working with this and not that one. So since I am working with this, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that I know and can work with our GCF. But what are we going to find the greatest common factor of? Well, there's 50 blueberry scones. I'm going to highlight that. Let's do that in blue. And then there's 75 cranberry scones. So our two numbers, what we're going to do is going to be 50 and 75. I'm going to move this up so that we have a little bit more space. You can as well if you'd like. So we're going to have 50 and then we're going to have 75. 50, 50, and then 75. All right, now what we're going to do is break it down. Okay, so when we do break this down, 50, there's many different ways you can do this. You can do 25 times 2. You can do 5 times 10. I think the most common one that we would see is going to be 5 times 10. So I'm going to do 5 times 10 or 10 times 5. So I'm going to do that. Now, are either of these a prime number? Is 10 a prime number or is 5 a prime number? 5 is actually a prime number because the only two factors are 1 in itself, meaning you can't break it down anymore. What about 10? Can you break it down? Yeah, so that's called a composite number. So our composite number, we're going to break it down. And what times what equals 10? 5 times 2, not 5 times 5, but 5 times 2. Is 5 a prime number? Yeah, again, 5 is a prime number. It always will be because the only two factors are 1 in itself. Same thing with the 2. The only two factors are 1 in itself. All right, now, we don't have any more branches to go. It is stopped. We circled all the prime numbers. Now, our prime factorization of 50, in order from least to greatest, let's make this a little bit bigger. In order from least to greatest, we have a 2, we have a 5, and another 5. With these numbers, we are multiplying. So then 2 times 5 times 5 is our prime factorization of 50. If you check it out or test it, 2 times 5 is 10, and then 10 times 5 is 50. Bingo, bingo, winner, winner, chicken dinner. We got that. So that's a way that you can check it. Whoop. Make this one bigger too. All right, let's go and take a look at 75. Well, there's different ways you can do this, but I know an easy way if I think of quarters. If I have 3 quarters, each quarter is 25 cents. If I have 3 times that 25 cents of quarters, I get 75 cents. So I'm going to do 3 times 25. You can do a different way if you want. That is absolutely fine, but you will get the same answer. And if not, then something may have went a little bit wrong. So just kind of retake a look at it then. So 3 and 25. Is 3 a prime number? Yes, it is a prime number because the only two factors are 1 in itself. What about 25 though? Can we break down 25? Yeah, we can break it down. What can we break down that 25? What times what? Well, I know that 5 times 5 is 25. Remember, other than 1 in itself. So I'm going to circle it because I'm done with it, because that 5 is a prime number, which means the only two factors are 1 in itself. So our prime factorization of 75 in order from least to greatest is 3 times 5 times 5. And we will have those being multiplied. Let's make that a little bit bigger. There we go. All right, now we need to figure out what prime factors that they share. What do they share? Let's make these a little bit bigger so we can see. So what do they share? They share, do they share a 2? No. How about a 3? No. What about a 5? Yeah, they share a 5. So this 5, I'm going to highlight. Do they share anything else? Yeah, they share another 5. There's another match of socks. So what are the two numbers they share? They share a 5. Remember, we're only taking 1 from each pair, and they also share another 5. Now we're going to multiply these. 5 times 5. What is 5 times 5? 25! Woohoo! So 25 is the greatest common factor. But now, what is the greatest number of bags you can fill? So 25 bags. So we're going to make sure that we start labeling these. So 25 bags. I'm going to highlight that in yellow because that is our answer. And that's all for our DMR.